Of course, I loved music always. But my father told me, okay, you want to sing? You can. But before, you must study, just to have an opportunity.
Andrea Bocelli has sold over 90 million records worldwide, performed for presidents and popes, and brought audiences to tears in the world's most prestigious venues. But here's what most people don't know. His life nearly ended before he was even born. And by age 12, he was completely blind after a tragic accident that changed everything. No matter what life threw at him, he refused to surrender. Instead, he turned every struggle into strength and every heartbreak into a song that touched millions. This is the incredible journey of how the darkest moments of a person's life can often become the greatest source of motivation. To truly understand what happened to Andrea Bocelli, we have to go back in time. Childhood struggles. Andrea Bocelli was born in 1956 at a farmhouse in Tuscany, Italy. But even before Bocelli took his first breath, fate had already placed heavy challenges in his path. While his mother was pregnant, she had a severe attack of appendicitis, and doctors urged her to terminate the pregnancy. But she refused to do it and clung to it with her life at risk. Ultimately, she gave birth to Andrea on September 22, 1958, in a small village in Italy. Andrea was born, but his struggles didn't end there. Doctors discovered he had congenital glaucoma. His vision was blurry, letting him see only faint shapes and lights. While other children explored the world with their eyes, Andrea learned to understand it through sound. The rustle of leaves, the flow of water, the clinking of farm tools, and the songs of neighbors filled his mind. Later, he would say, "Those sounds painted my world more vividly than sight ever could." When he was 12, life struck again. Andrea was playing soccer when a ball hit his already fragile eyes, triggering a brain hemorrhage. The little vision he had left was gone. Darkness consumed him entirely. Years later, he described it as the moment when the real darkness fell. But what do you do when your vision is taken away? For Andrea, the answer was music. He heard the famous tenor Franco Corelli for the first time. He loved it so much that he decided to learn music and make it his career. With his parents' support, Andrea learned to play many instruments, including the piano and flute. Music became his guide in the darkness, turning his sadness into strength. The price of success. In his teenage years, Bocelli's life became a battle between survival and dreams. He was determined not to be defined by his blindness. So he enrolled at the University of Pisa to study law. Every day was a struggle. He carried tape recorders to capture lectures, asked classmates to read aloud, and memorized countless pages. To pay his bills, Andrea did many small jobs. He played in noisy piano bars where his music was often lost in the background noise. But when he sang louder and with more feeling, people stopped to listen. In those dim rooms, Andrea discovered himself. He once said, "Those piano bars were my gymnasium, my battlefield." They taught him to sing over noise, to demand attention through emotion. During the day, he wore the robes of a lawyer. At night, he poured his soul into music. This double life was exhausting and pushed him to his limits. Andrea soon realized he could not walk both roads. Success demands sacrifices. Andrea learned early that destiny rarely grants greatness without asking for something precious in return. Soon, he needs to make a choice. He could either continue the safe path of law or risk everything to follow his passion for music. The decision wasn't easy, but in the end, Bocelli chose to follow his dreams. The rise of a global voice. Bocelli practiced his music, getting better with each passing day, and soon enough, someone noticed his efforts. In 1992, an Italian rock singer needed a tenor to record a demo of the song Miserere for Luciano Pavarotti. Andrea sang the demo, and when Pavarotti heard it, he said, "Who is this man? Why do you need me when you have him?" That single recording changed the fate of his whole career. Andrea toured with Zucchero, his voice soaring across Europe. In 1994, producer Caterina Caselli signed him, and soon he was performing at the Sanremo Festival, winning the heart of audiences with Il mare calmo della sera. His rise was meteoric, Within 2 years, Conte Partirò and its English version, Time to Say Goodbye, performed with Sarah Brightman, became global hits. People everywhere loved Andrea's music. His songs brought comfort, hope, and joy. For a man who once feared silence, his voice now filled it for millions of listeners. From small villages to grand stages, his sound touched the hearts of everyone. Yet many opera critics still doubted him. They said he was too pop and not true opera-like. Not only that, Andrea struggled with stage fright for many years, shaking even while people cheered. But he never gave up. He said, "Art is about emotion. If my voice reaches hearts, it has done its job." His success was clear, but so were the struggles that came with it. The sudden tragedy. Before Bocelli became a star, he met Enrica Cenzati when he was playing piano in a bar. By the time she was 16, she was attracted to his voice so much that she fell in love from that very moment. Their bond grew stronger despite the hardships, and by 1992, they got married. For a time, their home was filled with joy. Their 2 sons were Amos, born in 1995, and Matteo, born in 1997. Life was going great both professionally and at home. But as his voice spread across the world, he couldn't spend enough time with his family. Concerts, interviews, and long tours created a quiet distance from his family. Enrica, who had fallen in love with the struggling dreamer, watched as fame pulled him further away. By the late 1990s, their marriage was under unbearable strain. In 2002, Andrea and Enrica quietly divorced without any drama. Andrea later said, "I will never speak ill of Enrica. She gave me 2 sons and 10 years of my life." But what do you think? What hurts more, the sting of criticism from the world or silence in your own home? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now let's get back to the video. Fame may have given him his dreams, but it also took away time with his loved ones. But even when things looked bleak, Bocelli soon found someone who would bring love and support back into his life. Storms in the spotlight. In 2020, when Italy faced the pandemic, he spoke against strict lockdowns. His words stirred headlines and got huge backlash. Some fans felt hurt. Bocelli later explained, "I did not mean to offend. I spoke with emotion, not disrespect, but criticism didn't stop there. Some even accused him of using his blindness for sympathy. This hurt him deeply." He calmly replied, "I do not want to be seen as a miracle. I want to be seen as a musician." Critics always found reasons to doubt him, but Andrea kept rising above. He proved that greatness is not about pleasing everyone, but about touching hearts. These trials reminded him of a lesson he had known since childhood. True greatness is always tested, yet through it all, he chose kindness. "Music," he said, "is born from suffering, but it must bring peace." Andrea Bocelli's journey is a tragedy intertwined with triumph. He showed the world that even in the darkest moments, there is always some hope. From a boy struggling to see the world, Bocelli rose to become a voice the world could not ignore. At 66, his story is both sad and inspiring, showing that even in darkness, light can shine. And probably that is the reason his music feels timeless, because behind every song, there is pain, hope, and love. What part of Andrea Bocelli's journey did you enjoy the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. Until then, see ya.